Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning. Welcome to Morning Coffee Talks. Cheers. Do a quick little morning coffee talk here on Friday. We're going to talk about the Industrial Revolution and how that changed everything for society for men in the United States. Right? So it was for 5,000 years before the Industrial Revolution started. Men were always at home, right? The children were always with the men. If you're a blacksmith, if you were a farmer, whatever you did, your children, especially your sons, did that with you. They learned from you. They were with their fathers all the time. The Industrial Revolution comes along by a guy named of Rockefeller, right? Those guys, yeah, right? They come along and they figured, hey, we need to figure out how can we get people to be in line and do what they're told. Factory work, right? The Industrial Revolution. So they changed the school system, right? Go to school 8 hours, five days a week, 8 hours a day, just like a normal job. All it is trained for you to do is to get in line, do what you're told. Factory work, do what you're told. Go to work, repeat, rinse and repeat. You see what I'm saying? That is the major problem with society, because boys are not being brought up with their fathers now because the Industrial Revolution happened. Men go to work all day long. They come home, they're tired. They don't feel like dealing with their kids, and they're not teaching their kids, especially boys, how to be men. And that is the whole problem in society, guys. It's the education, it's the problem with the education system, all that, right? Because it comes down to that when we're young, when we're little boys, right, we're attached to our mothers, right? When you're little kids, you're attached to that female frequency. Well, as you get a little bit older and you become a little bit older as a boy, you need to be around your father more to get back attached to that male frequency, right? The masculine side of things. There's nothing wrong with being masculine. People always say, well, what about toxic masculinity? I've said this on here before. There's no such thing. If you're toxic, you're toxic. It has nothing to do with being masculine at all right? But boys are starving for their fathers. That's why boys these days go out and try to join gangs and things of that nature to try to prove themselves, to see if they're a man. Because there's not a man in their life to teach them how to be a man, to show them, to say to them literally, you're a man now, what it means. Like I always say on here, a leader, protector, and provider. Break it down for them. Show them. And you show them by that man doing it, by stepping up, right, to the call. So boys are starving for that hunger from a father, from an older man in society, a grandfather, an uncle. And when we get as men is we don't get the father we want, right? Because this is how it goes, guys. Every man has a way that they want to be fathered. And every boy has a way that they want their father to father them. And what if they don't match up? What if they don't match up? And they always don't match up because we're not perfect, right? So that's a little food for thought this morning. But American men, for the most part, face most of their lives mainly alone. A father and his child are, especially this day and age, are very emotionally detached from each other, right? They're emotionally isolated. Men always did thinking in the past together. There was always soul work with other men, right? That's what brings me into the men's accountability groups we have, right? We meet once a week, the men's accountability group I started in my neighborhood. And that's what that's about. It was soul work with other men. We get together, we talk about our problems, and we try to come up with solutions to those problems, right? It's a place where you can come in and bitch and moan. Because like I always talk about on here, you don't do that in front of your wives. You don't do that in front of your kids. You're the leader. That's not what a leader does. You go talk to other men about those issues, right? That's why I highly recommend you starting a men's accountability group in your neighborhood. All you need is 2 or 3 guys, man. That's it. Start somewhere and it'll build up. But that's the whole problem with society. It all started during the Industrial Revolution. It changed everything, guys. Everything. And now men are suffering in silence by themselves. That's not okay. It's not okay with me. It shouldn't be okay with you. A little food for thought this morning, guys. Seriously, on this morning coffee talk. Because that's what it's about, man. And I always talk about on here, writing down the vision of the man you want to become, putting it on paper, and start going after those goals, right? And we all know how to set goals, right, and accomplish those goals, right? You write down the goal you want to accomplish. You write down your why you want to accomplish that goal, and you write down your how you're going to accomplish that goal, and you go out and accomplish it. And then on to the next one, Because like we say on here all the time, life is suffering. Life is a series of problems. That is what life is about. It's constantly problem after problem after problem. And you're here to solve those problems, right? So I want you guys to think about that this morning. And like I always say, you're the answer to somebody's prayers. You are the answer to somebody's prayers. You're the prayer that somebody's been praying. So let's step up. Let's be the leaders, protectors, and providers that our family and our community need. People say, it's not my problem. If it's not your problem, whose problem is it? It's society's problem. And we are a major, major problem. And it's on us, the men, to step up and change it. And we can. Together, guys. We're not in this alone. You got to get with other men. You got to talk about your problems. Talk about your feelings. We have feelings too. And it's okay. And you need to be heard. You need to be heard by other men. All right, guys? Also, guys, if you guys have anything you want me to talk about on these morning coffee talks, please in the comments, let me know what you want to talk about. If I don't know much about it, I'll research it. I'll read up on it, and we'll talk about it. All right, we're going to do these coffee talks once or twice a week. I appreciate all your support. I appreciate you guys stopping in. I appreciate the comments, the likes, everything. And I hope you guys enjoy these morning coffee talks, all right? I'm going to get off here now. I hope you guys have a great Friday. And as always, go get you some, baby. Cheers.